Hello, hello. Sandra Rodriguez here with Four Corners Field. How are you? If you are joining me live, thank you so much. So glad to have you with me. I'm going to be sharing some stuff. Hi, welcome to the broadcast. I'm going to be sharing some stuff with you tonight that I think you're going to find really valuable, especially if you've had some goals. If maybe you made some New Year's resolutions, maybe you've kind of just said, you know what, I'm going to do this, and then you're finding out that you're kind of falling off the wagon. Things aren't happening for you. I'm going to help you tonight. I'm going to give kudos and credit to a very special person, Cynthia Bazin, at Smart Chick, at The Smart Chick. I tell you what, I really got some clarity through some of the things that she shared, and so I want to pass those along to you. So hang in there, stick with me. I think you're really going to get some really good stuff out of this tonight. I won't be long. I'm going to try to keep it real brief. I just have a couple of tips. Actually, let me see. It's going to be 3 or 4 tips on how to break out of your comfort zone. Listen. You can see from the title of the scope, if you're feeling stagnant, if you're feeling stuck, it's probably because you are stuck in your comfort zone. And I can attest to this. You know, it's happened with me. There's been times when I've been really feeling frustrated in my business, feeling frustrated in areas of my personal life, things that I wanted to accomplish and they're not happening. And almost always it's because we're staying in our comfort zone. You know, there's that saying that says, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, we're not going to get a different result in our lives, in our business, in anything, if we keep doing what we've been doing all along, and we're expecting something to change. We have to make a change, and making that change means that we have to step out of our comfort zone. Here's what I want to share with you tonight. If you're not reaching your goals, if you're not accomplishing what you're hoping to accomplish in your business, in your personal life, whatever, it's probably because you haven't gotten laser focused on your why. And one of the things that really got to me on Cynthia's broadcast was that our why needs to really be so laser focused. It can't be, you know, I want a better life. I want to make an impact on people's lives. I want to help others. That's too vague. That's too vague. It's too fluffy. And it's not going to get you anywhere. You're not going to get to where you want until you get it really laser focused. So we need to find out why. Why do you want to succeed so badly? What is it that makes you so sick and tired you just can't stand it anymore? You know, you've got to get your why so focused, so laser focused to the point where it makes you cry. You know, when you think of your why, like, you know what, things are so, I'm giving you different examples, things are so tight in our finances right now that, you know what, if something doesn't happen quick, if I don't make something happen right now with our finances, next month we're going to lose our home. Wow, that is super laser focused. That is a why that'll make you cry. Your why needs to make you cry. And so whatever it is, if I don't make a change right now, this relationship is going to fall apart. If I don't make a change right now, if I don't do this, I'm going to, whatever the reason is, it has to be really laser focused. And that really spoke to me. Maybe your whys are too fluffy. So your whys need to be very specific. It needs to be a laser focused and strong why. Your why, this is one of the things I got from her. Your why needs to bring you to tears. And that's the only thing that's going to get you out of your comfort zone. So that's the first tip. The second thing is, sometimes even though we have a very focused why, our fears get in the way. And if you are on my Twitter page at all, you know, I like to encourage. I love to put out encouragement and tell people, you know what, you can do this, and it's never too late. And, you know, if you fall down, get back up, you know, fall down 7 times, get back up 8. And that's really great. But if you've got a fear, if you've got something that's holding you back, you need to face that fear. And you need to first figure out what that fear is. Hey, thanks for joining. You need to figure out what that fear is and write it down. So, you know, a lot of times people say, well, I have a fear of failure, or I have a fear of success. But you know what? Sometimes it goes deeper than that. It can be a fear of criticism. You know, a lot of times we confuse fear of failure with a fear of criticism, especially if, you know, we've had some stuff that, you know, maybe your self-confidence is a little, you know, it's a little shaky. It's really, really scary when you're feeling vulnerable to put yourself out there and people to criticize you. So a lot of times what we think is fear of failure is really fear of criticism. We're afraid that people are going to knock us down. We're afraid that people are going to say something negative about us, or going to say, you know, bring up our past mistakes, especially if you have a history of stopping and starting in your goals. Maybe you started a business, maybe you started in something, maybe you started a diet, and you know, you fell off the wagon, and you're afraid that people are going to say, oh yeah, that's just her doing this again, or that's him just, you know, I've heard that before. And you're afraid of the criticism that comes with it. You know what? Write that down. You're not going to be able to face your fear until you address it, until you pinpoint it, and then you can face it. So write down what that fear is so that you can then attack it. So that's my second tip. My third tip is to make a commitment. Make a commitment. Okay, so now you've gotten your goals, you've gotten your why, laser focused, right? Now you've got a why that can bring you to tears, a why that'll make you cry. Secondly, you have written down and addressed what is that specific fear that keeps getting in your way, that even though you've got a strong why, sometimes it gets in the way and you trip over because of this fear. Address, you know, figure out what it is, write it down so that you can address it. My third tip for you is to make a commitment. Set a date. Set a date for when you are going to start your attacking your goals, what you're going to do about it, and when it's going to happen. For example, if you are wanting to, one of your fears is that you have a fear of talking to people, right? You started a business and you have a fear of talking to people, of putting yourself out there. Well, set a date. By this time, I am going to be, you know, doing 5 videos a week, or I'm going to be making at least 1 phone call a day to a prospect, or I'm going to, whatever it is. If you want to write a book, by this date, I am going to have, you know, my manuscript down. I'm going to have things written out. Set the date, which now brings me to the 4th tip, which is be vulnerable. Be vulnerable with one person. It doesn't mean, you know, and this really helped me because Cynthia talked about this the other night. And she was saying, you know, you don't have to be vulnerable with everybody. You don't necessarily have to put your dirty laundry out there for everyone to know what your weaknesses are or where you're feeling vulnerable. But one person that you respect, one person that maybe is smarter than you, one person that you respect, that you feel has been more successful than you, go to that person. And it really shouldn't be your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or anybody really close to you. And the reason why, because that's really comfortable. Going to someone who already knows you, who probably already knows what your shortcomings are, or already knows where you struggle, That's not a stretch. And you know what? If they love you, they're probably going to be really fluffy and soft on you. So if you make a commitment, you know, let's say you make a commitment and you say, you know, by February 28th, I don't know what this year is. I don't know if this year is a leap year or not. But let's say by February 28th, I am going to, you know, have XYZ done. You know, if you share it with somebody who really loves you and really cares with you, like your spouse, or a really good friend, they may or may not hold you to it. You know, if you say, you know, I am going to make a video every day, and you're like, oh, I don't feel like it, or whatever, they'll be like, oh, okay, well, don't worry about it. Let's not do it today. You don't have to do it today. So you want to go to somebody that you respect, that you feel can really help you, you know, really hold your feet to the fire, really help you stay accountable. So I am in the process right now. I have actually already reached out to the person that I am going to have hold me accountable to the things that I need to do, because I'm coming out, and I'm telling you, this is where I have failed. I have made goals, and I know you can relate. Tap on the screen, give me some hearts if you can relate to this. If you've set goals and then you've gotten lazy on them, and then, or you've had some kind of fear holding you back, and then you go, who's going to know? I haven't told anybody. I have these goals, I have these plans, but I haven't really told anybody, so who's going to know? But if you tell somebody, thank you, yes. If you tell someone and they hold you accountable, it's a different story, because now if you value your word, if you are the type of person that says, you know what, my word is my bond, you've spoken it to somebody. You've said, you know what, I'm going to do this. Now you've told somebody. So you're going to be like, oh, I got to do this because I said I was going to do it. That helps you overcome those fears. That helps you overcome those obstacles. That really helps you overcome that hump, because it's like, gosh, man, I told somebody I was going to do this. Now I have to do it because they're going to ask me about it. So do that. Do that. Be vulnerable. Be accountable. Have an accountability partner. You know what? I used to think that it wasn't necessary. I used to really, I used to believe that, you know what? That's a sign of weakness. If I don't need to tell anybody anything. I've set my goals. I've got them written down, and I'm going to do it. But you know what? I've been in the hamster wheel long enough to know that for me personally, I need accountability. Not everybody does, but I think most of us do. Most of us need that accountability. So, wanted to share that with you. That's all I have. I was excited about this, made a huge impact on me, and I wanted to share it with you because I thought it might make an impact on you. If this gave you some value, I'm going to ask you to share it. Share it out on your social media channels, whatever it is, whether it's Twitter. Go ahead and share that with others right now. I appreciate it. And give me some hearts. Let me know. You can, if we're not connected already on Twitter and Periscope, let's do that. Make sure we're connected. Follow me, and I look forward to getting to know you and having some really good interaction here. Thank you. Have a great night.